Hey guys, happy Friday. Coming at you live from Copenhagen in the cutest little hotel room. I wish I could turn. Here, I'll turn so you can see if it's not how cute the little, you see? It's so cute. On the water with all of the beautiful sailboats. Hope you guys checked out my Instagram. It's delightful here. But more importantly, the topic at hand this week is really, really important because we're in the middle of eclipse season, and one of the things that when I was thinking of what should I talk about for this week's workshop, I had a bunch of ideas, right? I always have tons of things I want to tell you. But I realized that I've met a bunch of people in the past couple weeks while traveling, and when they find out about me being interested in astrology and the moons and eclipses and all that, they always ask like, well, what's your best general advice for this time for someone? How can someone make the most of it even if they don't know their exact astrology or exactly what's going on? And it's really, really clear. It's really easy. How you can make the most of this summer, and this is why I thought it would be really potent to share with you, is by simply not upper limiting yourself, right? Everything about eclipse season is about massive growth, is about exponential leaps ahead in your life. And this could be in all areas of your life. It's, going to affect all of us based on our chart, based on our lives differently. But you probably already have a pretty solid idea of what areas of your life are really being called to up level, are really being open to you taking things to a place you've never taken them before. And so thinking to yourself, right, what are the ways that I'm being called to up level, and what are the ways I commonly self-sabotage? Because there's a lot of, for any of you guys who haven't already read the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, I highly recommend it. I have all of my clients read this book because it is so, so, so important. So much of getting to that next level of being able to live a life that you dream of is being able to also say, being able to see when you're holding yourself back, because we are our worst enemies. Time and time again, we'll see that. Most of you will resonate with that. I resonate with that. No one can hold me back quite like I can hold me back. And we know we all have our different tactics that we love to employ to do that. And the more conscious we can become, there's a whole actually section in Practical Magic about self-sabotage, because I truly believe it is so important to know your own poison. And we all have our own poison, and it's usually easy, from the chair where I sit when I'm working with a client, I can see it a mile away. I can see it a mile away how they get in their own way. And sometimes it starts by not being able to take the time for themselves, by not being able to receive the help they need, by not being able to ask for what they need. Sometimes it's, closing off the possibilities. Sometimes it's allowing their favorite excuse to step in and stop them from moving forward, right? And we all have our favorite excuse. Maybe it's money, maybe it's time, maybe it's your family, maybe it's your spouse. We all have maybe it's your health, right? We all have our number one card that we like to pluck, right? When things are getting uncomfortable and we're moving towards that next level, and be like, oh, but I'm not feeling well today. Oh, but my husband says I shouldn't do this, right? Oh, I'll do it after this. I get this project done at work, right? And we pull that card up, and that card is our self-sabotage card. That card is us upper limiting, is us saying, hey, this is getting too good. This, and what happens, it's like the way I describe it, for those of you who have done the Practical Magic workshop, where I talk about the free one, the Practical Magic 101, talk about there being this portal that you're walking through. Well, imagine it's almost like the closer you get to that door, the closer you get to that portal, to the next level, the more nervous you get, the more scared you get unconsciously, right? Because you are entering into the unknown. And fundamentally, that brings us fear. And it doesn't even matter. It's like, let's say you've waited your whole life. You've always wanted to get married. always wanted to get married. And then finally the person comes into your life that could be a great potential partner for that. And it gets to a certain level. And then your self-sabotage mechanisms will act up because you you sense you sense that it's getting close, that you're almost accomplishing a dream. And that is when and it's, not to be negative, not to be pessimistic, not to, wave an unwanted wand, so to speak, as I would say in practical magic. But it's so important to know that this is part of our human nature, that we actually have a set point of success, of love, of happiness that we are built with from our childhood, right? And if you think about it, you know how some people will always get by. They'll always get by, And I noticed this about my family growing up, right? Where we'd always get by. And it didn't mean if getting by that month meant buying a new car, me and my brother getting new computers, us going on a vacation, then we would get by and we'd do all that. And if getting by that month just meant getting groceries and paying the bills, then we would get by and we would do that. And there was never an overflow and there was never a not making it, right? But like my parents' set point around money and around success was that we'll always get by and what we need will always be provided for. So we always got by and what we needed was always be provided for, but it was never, whenever it looked like we would go into overflow, right? Or vice versa, would go into the negative, my dad would just work harder and it would just make sure he got back there. But vice versa, when we went into overflow, maybe someone would spend extra money, maybe an extra bill would come up, right? There would always be something that would hit so that we would have to stay in that set point. So I want you to think about that right now. Where are you comfortable at right now? Where are you comfortable when it comes to your body? Where are you comfortable when it comes to your money, when it comes to your career, when it comes to your family, when it comes to your love life? What is your comfort zone right now? What is the area that you can, you never dip too far below, but you never dip too far above either, right? This is your set point, your energetic set point for your life right now. And what's going to happen this summer, this eclipse season, or during any period of intense growth, right? Any period. I mean, let's be honest, I love astrology, and I think this portal this summer is going to give us a lot of energy to move through so that we can make some incredible headway in our lives. But at any point, if you just these next 6 months, these are the 6 months I'm writing my book proposal. These next 6 months are when I'm going to clean up all my shit around dating and really, find that partner. These next 6 months are when I'm going to clean up my food and get a trainer and like really have my most fit body, right? We have that power at any point to claim it, right? And to say, this next 6 months is when I'm going to extremely up level in this area of my life, right? And so whether it's us claiming it, whether it's us being, in this beautiful energy astrologically that's propelling us forward towards massive growth, whenever we're in that zone, we allow ourselves, like we're moving kind of like a speeding bullet to the thing that we want. And when we get really close, that's when things can kind of come up to slow our momentum. Right? So for instance, I think the most obvious example of this is that when you're doing really, really good, eating really clean, working out, and let's say you start losing weight, there comes a certain point where you will be tempted to go out and like eat a whole pizza by yourself, or to go get that ice cream, or to be like, I'm just going to skip the gym today. Right? And it's these, we all have probably our own little self-talk around it. Like maybe you're in your head, it'll be like, oh, you're doing so well, you should go out, celebrate with your friends tonight. Or, you're doing so well, you can take this week off. It's okay if you don't go. So we all have our little things, and it's so important to just be on the lookout for it. What are the ways that I'm getting in my own way? What are the ways that I'm preventing myself, right, from reaching the finish line? That I may be slowing down myself from getting there. Because like I said, during this season, and a great exercise that we work through in practical magic around this is really journaling about what are your favorite methods of self-sabotage, right? And you can even go as specific. I encourage this in this portal for eclipse season, is writing down all of the things that you're feeling ready to massively up level in your life right now, all the different areas, and what that dream goal vision would look like. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but be like, maybe it's making X amount of money. Maybe it's my work schedule looking like this. Maybe it's working on these kinds of projects, X, Y, and Z, whatever that looks like. And then allowing yourself to get really honest and clear with yourself about what are the insidious ways that I do this. And a great exercise is also to ask a partner or a best friend or your parents, right? My dad once told me, like, he was like, you self-sabotage by distracting yourself with your personal life. When, and when things get too good with work, you'll focus on dating or something like that. And then, pull yourself back when, with the other things that people have reflected to me. I realized that when things got too intense with work, sometimes I would go to breath work every day after working. And breath work is great, but breath work, is kind of like a visioning thing. And I would do it because I was escaping every night, right? So it was preventing, while on one hand, it's a completely healthy, beautiful practice. The way I was using it was to sabotage from allowing myself to continue to be present in my work, right? And like I said, just, these examples are extraordinarily personal. All of us have our own little things. And it's not about judging yourself for any of these behaviors because we all have them. And honestly, you're so much more powerful when you can see them than when you don't know what yours are. If you are listening to this right now and you're like, I don't have any of those, then this is a call for you to do some deep work because we all have them. You don't escape them. The only problem is when we've actually convinced ourselves that we don't have them, right? And I've seen that in clients, right? Where, a common one that I have seen is like the husband or the partner excuse, right? So they want to do X, Y, and Z. They're like, oh, but like, my husband needs me to like make the money, right? Or my husband's not gonna be able to, give me, like, allow me to do that or give whatever, right? And it's our way of blaming our partner, right? Rarely is that actually their fault. Sometimes it is an unhealthy relationship, but a lot of the times it's just they're our scapegoat. We're using them as an excuse because maybe we'd have to have an uncomfortable conversation with them. Maybe we'd have to stand in our power. Maybe we would have to own what we truly wanted. And so instead of doing that, we can just like pretend that person is going to stop us from it. People can use time. Like I said, I think one of the biggest ones all of us have available to us is time. Oh, like I would love to have a better body, but I don't have the time to go to the gym every day. I don't have the time to cook healthy meals for myself. Oh, I would love to make more money, but I barely have enough time to do all the things on my plate right now. How could I make more money? I'd love to have a partner, but I don't really have the time to go on dating apps or to go on first dates all the time. So we all have all these little upper limiting excuses available to us. And what they really are is us putting our own glass ceiling on ourselves, us saying, hey, I'm comfortable here. This might not be ideal. This might not be my dream. This might not even be what I really want where I am. But to break through my own glass ceiling would feel so uncomfortable, would push me into the unknown, right? And I'm fundamentally scared of the unknown. And I think an interesting exercise just to think about this, right, is if you were given $10 million, right? Most of us would say, yeah, of course I want $10 million. But if you sat with, even for like 20 minutes, what would I do if I had $10 million? There's a level, I'm sure, of fear and overwhelm that most of you guys would feel if you've never had $10 million, right? Because there'd be part of you that would be like, well, what would the taxes on $10 million be? Do I just put that on my bank account? Should I buy my parents a house? Should I pay off all my student loans? What do I do? Maybe I want to go on a trip. right? And all of a sudden, there's a part of you that realizes that having $10 million would be going into a dark forest. And not in a negative way, but in a place you've never been before way, a place you would need to feel out. You'd need to learn how to navigate because it is foreign to you. And so while that might be a extreme example, if you think about any area of your life that you're looking to up level, right? So for instance, a lot of my clients come to me when they're making the transition from a 9 to 5 job to trying to create their own business. They want to create it in alignment with their soul. They want to create it holistically and take care of themselves and have a good balance in their life while they're doing it. And so we'll do that. And a lot of their upper limiting will come in simply because they are comfortable in their 9 to 5. They're comfortable with the way that their job is, with the amount of money they make, with the dynamics that exist in that right now. And even though they're not happy, even though that's not what they want, even though they know there's something on the other side here that they do want, then there's still that element of walking into a dark forest, right? And so, obviously a lot of what I do with people, what practical magic is having the companion through that dark forest and having the lantern and lighting the way and being held and guided as you navigate these uncharted territories. But you can help yourself a lot too by acknowledging what that one, it's normal for that fear to come up when you're navigating a completely new arena, when you're stepping into something you've never done before, and then not let it stop you, right? So reassuring yourself that yes, it's almost like having, it's almost like, let's say, having just because I'm saying a hotel right now, it's like having the front desk person at a hotel tell you how to get to your room, explaining how to get to your room for the first time. And you've never been to the hotel, but they tell you how to get to your room, and then you venture off, right? And like on one hand, you have no idea where you're going. You've never been to this hotel before. They kind of give you some directions, right? Let's say the lights go off, right? And now you're like, okay, now I'm really trying to navigate how to get there. Now, the thing you can find safety and find peace in is in the fact that, one, the hotel room you're going to, and two, you've been given some instructions on how to find it, even though it feels perhaps unknown and complicated and there's no lights on at this moment because the power went out, right? Your life is so much like that, right? Your heart, think of your heart, your soul, your intuition is like that front desk attendant. It's telling you what your room is, and it's giving you little directions on how to move towards it. It's like, hey, love, this is, maybe your room is the relationship. Maybe your room is the career. Maybe your room is the finances. Maybe your room is a certain lifestyle. Maybe your room is a baby. Maybe your room is a pet. Whatever your room, your goal, where you're getting to, where you want to move towards, you've gotten that direction. You know what it is, right? And then similarly, from that same place, you've started to get navigation towards it. So you can trust in one that is there, and you can listen to your navigation. And when we lean on that, when we lean on our intuition, when we lean on our heart, when we lean on our soul and what it's speaking to us and what it's telling us to do, similarly, like we would lean on that hotel attendant as we were navigating to our room, we can step through the fear. We can say, yeah, it's dark. Yeah, maybe I don't know what's down this hallway, but I know that this room exists, and I keep on reminding myself of the instructions that I've been given on how to get there. So to sum it up, as we move through this summer, one of the things I really want you to remember is that you already know where your North Star is, right? You already know where you're moving towards. It's already in your head. It's already in your heart. I know you've already thought about this when you did last week's New Moon Workshop, and you're already starting to get that navigation. You've already gotten some of those instructions. And you know what? You're venturing into uncharted territory. You're going to a level that you haven't been to before, and that's great. Explore it. Be excited for it. And acknowledge that when fear arises, when you see yourself tripping yourself up, when you see yourself going off course, when you see yourself getting distracted by the flowers over there instead of climbing the mountain ahead, acknowledge it so you can get back on track, right? And keep on steady to that course by connecting to what that truth is in you, to where you are going, and to the navigation that's coming internally. And if you do that exercise where you write out all of your common areas of self-sabotage, the way you speak to yourself, the things you do, the procrastination, the getting sick, whatever it is, right? Then you allow yourself the opportunity to be able to be on the lookout for little twigs and branches and things that would trip you up getting to your destination. So I hope this was helpful. And please, 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 if you are ready to take it to the next level this summer, check out Practical Magic Training. I would love, love, love a lot of my Appreciate ladies graduate into Practical Magic and are very, very happy that they did. In fact, a very high percentage of my Practical Magic ladies come from Appreciate. So I really encourage you to check out the link in my Instagram bio, read your newsletters, and let me know if you're really ready to up level and you'd like my help with that this summer, because I can really be that guide helping you navigate the dark parts with a lantern, because I've been there, I've done it before, and it's a lot easier to have an outside perspective, save you from those little twigs and whatnot that may trip you up along the way, so that you make it to your destination safe, fast, steady, and enjoyably, right? So I hope you check it out, and I hope you have an amazing week. Bye, guys.